Welcome to Frosty Acres. I'm Jessica. Let's take a look at what's been going on in February. Just came out to do evening chores and oh look, they're all waiting for me. There's the ladies. And there's the boys. I'm working on it, guys. I'm gonna get you your supper. It's nice to have some sunshine, isn't it, boys? It's really nice out, isn't it, girls? So Friday, so it's Sunday, February 5th. So Friday I had off. When I got up Friday morning, it was negative 17 degrees. Yesterday morning, it was 11 degrees. And today it was 24 degrees. Which, depending on where you live, you probably still think it sounds cold. But that 41 degree in temperature, oh, change in temperature, it feels amazing. 24 degrees feels really, really great today. And this is the first time, yesterday was the first time actually, in a couple of weeks that the alpacas have actually gone outside. Hershey, where are you going? There's nothing in there. I emptied that out. So we'll just hang out with the ladies for a minute. Let's go see what Hershey's doing. So funny thing, everyone always assumes that Hershey is a boy. I'm not exactly sure why. You know, if it's just because she doesn't have a typical female name. But everyone always assumes that she's a boy. Well, her name is literally made of female pronouns. And so whenever anyone calls her a he, I'm like, her, she. And it bothers me, but she's such a pretty girl. And there's little Nestle. Hey, sweetie, how are you? And Ivy. Hey, you want to say hi to everybody? Such a poser. And there's Isabel. And that's Nestle and Phoebe's mama. And Blackberry. She's Monica's mama. And then another cappuccino. Well, Blackberry's also Andy's mama. Hello, my sweet girl. You want to give everyone a kiss? Give everyone a kiss? Go. Alright, well, I'm done with evening chores. It sure is nice to not feel like I have to rush through them because I'm freezing. So there's Kenai and Phoebe. Nestle decided to join this bunch. Oh, there's Monica. I always call this the kids' table. Because the little ones don't always like to eat with the grown-ups, or sometimes the grown-ups don't let the little ones eat with them. So I set up another little area for them. Feels good to be outside again, doesn't it, girls? Phoebe, are you pushing everyone away from your food? I think Hershey's waiting for me to leave. All right, I'm going bye-bye. Bye-bye, baby girl. I'll see you in the morning. Have a good night. It's so nice out today, but I still haven't moved the kids' table outside. And here's the adult ladies. All chowing down. They're all so happy right now. Hello, loves. It's a beautiful day. Sunny, almost 40 degrees. We're really enjoying the first false spring of the year. Now we know it won't last. So last month I started a new segment called Barn Talk. I had a topic picked out to discuss this month. I was going to talk about the history of alpacas, tell you a little bit about that. But yesterday my stepdad passed away. So I'll save that for next month, and today I want to tell you a little about my stepdad. I I wasn't sure if I was even going to post this video this weekend. Originally, I had it planned out to finish everything up Saturday, and then I ended up spending most of the day yesterday with him and my mom because he had taken a turn for the worse, and then passed away while I was there with Mom. I don't want to focus too much on how he died. I want to talk about more about his life. But since people will ask, Will was diagnosed with Parkinson's a few years back. And then a year or so ago, he was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia. And he's been progressing pretty rapidly neurologically. And about a week and a half ago, he went into hospice care. But like I said, I want to focus more on his life, and one of the reasons, there's two main reasons I decided to go ahead and post a video this weekend. One is because my mom loves watching them. I think she watches every episode 2 or 3 times. She's so proud of me. And two is Will loved animals, and him and Mom would watch this together. And I hope this mom takes your minds off things a little, and also lets you know how much we all loved Will. So like I said, Will was an animal lover, and he helped me out when he was healthier quite a bit. Him and my mom used to do doggy daycare for my dog Jack. He was referred to as Grandpa Will to Jack, and he loved the dogs. They spent most of the day, I think, with Will, and Will would take him out for walks, and he was the one who actually did the caretaking there. He took care of my mom too. And he'd help me with the alpacas too when I needed it. Remember one time I was taking a couple of the boys, Christoph and Sven, to my friend's house for the farm tour, and I couldn't get them in the vehicle, so Will came out and he helped me get them in there. And then let's see, where is Sven? Oh, he's way back there. But you've met Sven before. That's Charlie. When Sven was born, his mom wouldn't feed him. She liked him. She wanted to be near him, but every time he would try to nurse, she would try to trample him. And so we had to bottle feed Sven. And at first it was every 2 hours, round the clock. So on days when I would have to work, I would feed him before I'd go to work at 5. My stepmom would feed him when she got home, and then she'd feed him 2 or 3 more times, 2 more times I think in the morning. And then Will would come out in the afternoon and give him his bottle. So he would come out at 1 and 3, and then I'd usually get home about 5:30 and give him, and I would take care of him the rest of the night. He would also come out when we were expecting Krias. And Mom and I were talking about this just yesterday, how he had come out to check, and I'd have him come out, have someone drop by if I was at work, because they usually have their babies in the afternoon. Mid-afternoon, come out to check, make sure none of the mamas are in distress, had a baby that was stuck or something. And Mom was telling me how he called her, and he's like, how many babies were there? And she told him, and he goes, there's one more. But he would just sit out there and hang out with them. He wanted them to get used to him, so they knew him. He even did chores for me at times when I was out of town on vacation. But Will was a really great guy, really kind, really caring. He loved football, especially the Vikings. He was a big Viking fan right to the end. He loved wrestling, loved animals. We were talking about that just yesterday, how he's got a greeting party, or he had a greeting party waiting for him at the Rainbow Bridge. And he loved my mom, and he was really, really good to her. And he's really going to be missed, but we're glad he's at peace and he's no longer in pain now. So if you could just say a little extra prayer for my mom. This is really, really hard on her, and I'm trying not to cry, not because I'm ashamed to cry, just because if I start crying, you won't be able to understand a word I said, or a word I'm saying. But just say a little extra prayer for them, and that Will's found peace. We'd all appreciate it. Alright, so next up is going to be my crafting segment. I'll talk to y'all in a little bit. Time for projects. So it's been a pretty busy month. After I posted last month's video, I realized I didn't post my stash enhancements, and I got some really great stuff this month and last month. So last month, we had 24 hours of cross stitch with Welcome Stitchery, and Justine gave us a goodie bag, and in that goodie bag was this pattern. It's called Rose Garden. It's from Carolyn Manning Designs. Carolyn actually came and talked to us at 24 hours cross stitch and went over her design process and her history with designing. So we also got the floss for the project, so I just need to get the fabric. I was thinking of having this to be like a spring start. Maybe I'd start a new project on the first day of spring. But I want to finish a few other things first, and so I've decided I'll probably start this as my reward after the barns are all clean, shearing's done, and my fiber is off to the mill. So this will be a summer project for me. And it's so pretty. I'm really looking forward to starting that. And then I also got, this is called Farmhouse Christmas. It's the first one in that series from Little House Needleworks. It's the Little Red Barn. And I'm debating after finishing the month to month whether I want to do this Farmhouse Christmas series or Fall on the Farm. So I've got one project, or one of the designs from each, or one pattern from each project. So I'm gonna try them out and see which one I like the best. But that's a ways down the road. I've still got 6 more months to finish up. And then in June, we're going at our cross stitch group, Stitch and Bee. We're going to have a patriotic gift exchange, or small exchange. And so I got this pattern. And this is Stars and Stripes by Scissortail Designs that I'm going to do. And I might even just do like part of one of these patterns as a design, or as a small. Or I'm not sure. They're both pretty small, so there's multiple possibilities for that one. I've also bought some yarn. So I wasn't planning to buy any yarn. Then Vita Lifestyles, I saw her on Instagram, and I also get her email newsletter. She posted about the series that she was going to do for Valentine's Day, and it was Dirty Dancing. And I'm sure everyone remembers the scene where Baby carries the watermelon, and she posted a picture of a pair of socks, watermelon socks. And so I got the sock set to make those socks, and I will post a picture right here of what those socks looks like. I've been wanting to actually make watermelon socks. Probably sounds like a weird thing for quite a while. There's a couple different patterns. The one she posted, I believe, is cuff down, knit cuff down, and I like to knit toe up. So there's another pattern that's knit toe up, and I might make that. But aren't those pretty? This would also make a really cute gnome. So if I have any scraps left over from it, it'll definitely be a gnome too. And then I've made a couple projects with this yarn in the past, and I just loved it, but those were gift projects. So when I saw Becky had this back in stock, I had to get another skein for myself. Dobby, do you want to say hi? Say hi to the people. Ow, don't scratch. He's crawling all over me, but doesn't like it when I pick him up. And then my friend Linda had requested that I make a gnome for her. So she wanted purple and gray. So I got those when I went to the yarn store as well. All right, so then on to whips. For cross stitch, for whip go, I got New Start and sorry, he's kneading me with his claws out. He's right on my leg, so that's what the face was about. So for whip go, a New Start, which I did the March Month to Month by Stitching with the Housewives, and I'll show you that once I get to finished objects. But the other one was to work 10 hours on Favorite Toy. I had a little extra time this month. This is what it looked like at the beginning of the month. And so I decided, since I had 2 snow days this week, decided to put more hours in. I think I worked actually total of 16 hours on it, because by the time I finished the 10 hours, I was so close to finishing that next page, and I've now stitched 6 out of 16 pages. So it's starting to look like a cat, or at least the cat's butt. Mr. Fuzzy Butt, like this guy. He will not leave me alone, but he doesn't like it when I pick him up. Such a brat. And then, of course, since we had a blizzard, I brought out my snow day pattern, Falling Snow by Shannon Christine. And I am almost done working on this top part right here, and I'm almost done with that too. I think though we're gonna get more snow this week, so I'll work on it again this week. That's my progress on that. I'm really enjoying this one. I thought I might get sick of the white, and maybe as I work on it more, I will. But it's really nice not having to constantly change colors. I mean, it's a definite contrast to the cat where I'm constantly changing colors on that. And then for knitting whips, move kitty. I've only got one knitting whip that I'm working on at the moment, and that is my Scrappy Blanket. Let's see here, where's my stitch marker? So this is where I left off in January, and all the rest I've knit this month. And I'm so enjoying this project. It's the perfect project for when I first get up in the morning and I'm too tired to really concentrate on anything complicated, or like right before I go to bed, when again I'm too tired to concentrate on anything complicated. And I actually had this with me yesterday when I was with my mom and Will. And as soon as Mom saw it, she goes, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's going to be a blanket one day. Might take me 10 years, but eventually it'll be a blanket." And she goes, "I really like that. Could that be my blanket?" I'm like, "Well, we'll see, Mom." I'm like, I'm kind of attached to it, but she really fell in love with it, so maybe. But worked on that quite a bit yesterday. I had planned to start another project, but with everything going on, my brain wasn't quite up to it, and I'm still not sure if I'll start that other project. So then on to finished objects. Excuse me while I try to reorganize. So like I said, I worked on the March month-to-month this month. It's a lot of times saying month. So here is the small, which will be the barn quilt. Oh, and that's another finished object. I fully finished the February. I think I might actually redo it. I got the corners around the cross stitch part really nice and tight, but the fabric I used for the backing was so stretchy that the checks are kind of all stretched out and wonky, and I'm just not very happy. It looks fine in the barn, I mean, but if you look at it up close, it doesn't look as good. Anyway, so tulips. And then here is March. And those were knit on 18 count Ada. I'll put all the details in the notes at the bottom, so you'll know the exact count. And I did change 2 of the colors, and I'll put those in the notes too. The original yellow was more like a brownish dull yellow, and I wanted something brighter. And then this pink for the tulips, and I'll put, like I said, I'll put the DMC numbers in there. Just don't have my notes right here. Was too close to the lighter pink color that was used. I mean, there's no contrast at all. And so I picked a different color pink, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. It's nice, bright, perfect for spring. Even though we tend to get a lot of snow in March, so we'll see. I also finished another hat. I'd shown you this hat last month, but I finished a brown hat that I made with Monica's yarn and another pair of mittens that were teal and aqua. I forgot to take pictures to send, or there's pictures on my Instagram, but I didn't save them to share here. I sent those off to their new home yesterday. I also finished a pair of blue mittens. This is with Phoebe's yarn. Color is Blue Bonnet. And I need to knit a cowl to go with it, and that's my next project. I'm hoping to start it today. I was reading through the pattern yesterday. It's got cables and bobbles, and it's really, really pretty. I'll share more about that next month. But I need to do a provisional cast on, which I haven't done for a while. So I was looking up how to do that, and I need a crochet hook. And I do have a crochet hook somewhere. I just haven't been able to locate it yet. So I might actually have to wait and start that tomorrow. So I can go, because nothing's open today, or I don't feel like running to town today to get a crochet hook. So that'll maybe be tomorrow's start. I've got the yarn wound up. Maybe I'll work on the gnome a little bit today for Linda. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just keep knitting on my blanket because it's a good day for that as well. So coming up, my other projects for WIPGO this month, it's numbers 2 and 22. And for both of those was this pattern, Silent Night by Stitching with the Housewives. And I haven't worked on this since the beginning of the year, so I'm excited to get back to that. And I will have 20 hours total to work on it. And you know, if I'm getting close to finish it, I might put in a few extra just to finish it. So there's where I'm at now on that. I really love this one. It's so much fun. And then my other cross stitch project is the April Month to Month by Stitching with the Housewives. And I am going to do that on some 16 count Aida in the color Sunshower. So it'll be on yellow, a pale yellow for the daffodils to be on. And I held up the flosses to the fabric to make sure that they would pop against the fabric, and they look really good again. It looks really good with the colors that are in this. So I'm really excited to get started on that. I will start that on March 1st. And then I did a little craft organizing this week. I've had this shelf forever behind me, and it was kind of a mess. I'll actually post a picture right here of what it looked like before I organized stuff. And I got some new bins. These are from Home Depot, as is the shelf. And so this one is where I'm keeping all the yarn for my Scrappy Blanket and keeping the Scrappy Blanket when I'm not working on it. This one has my extra sweater yarn. So I had the bins. These two bins are for big projects that are long term. And then I've got my sweater itself is in here. This one here is filled with sock, or sorry, you can't see it, it's at the bottom. This one here is filled with sock yarn. I didn't think I had a lot of yarn in my stash. So far I've counted about 40 skeins, so I do have much more than I anticipated. And then this is all my knitting tools. This is all my knitting tools in this one here. All right, so that's it for crafts this month. Well, good morning. It's looking like it's going to be another frosty day here at Frosty Acres. It's February 26th. We just had another blizzard a few days back, so lots more snow. All the snow that melted has been replaced. So yeah, time for morning chores. Here's the boys. See the ladies are waiting for us. Oh, looks like Blackberry's out there waiting for us. George could probably hear me come running. Oh, yep, there they all are. They're pulling up by the gate. Can't see them though because there's so much frost. Open the gate the other way because of all the snow. Oh yeah, you guys have a day. How's everyone this morning? There's Hamilton and Chris stuff. Here they come. They were back in Andy's and pencil pen. What? Alright, where did my ladies go? Good morning, Ivy. It's so sunny and pretty out today, isn't it? Not horribly cold. It's 12 degrees today. Wondering why the wagon's always tipped over. I think I've talked about it in past episodes. Blackberry always tips it over. Dumps all the hay out. That's the way they like it. So this is where I'm going to end this month's video. The last couple days have been really sad, but there have been some happy things this month. So I'm going to leave you with some pictures of that. My sister Jenny, she got married February 10th. Her and her husband Aaron have been together 8 years. It was a really small, fun wedding. She texted us less than 2 weeks before. I think it was, must have been like the last weekend in January. She texted us and she goes, okay, it's official. We're getting married February 10th, which was a Friday. Hope you all can be there. But it was really fun. Everyone was able to be there, including my dad, who hadn't been home hardly since Christmas. And got lots of selfies this month with alpacas. I got selfies with all of them except for Monica, Isabel, and Hamilton. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.